Hi.
everybody.
Relax.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Doku, and this is Genesis.
I'm sorry.
everyone.
I'm fucking right. You should be the one who's doing this because this is
That
your
is true.
session.
That is true. But yes, hi everybody. Welcome back. It's been a month, but that's okay. Life has been crazy, and people have been crazier, so it's all good. Anyways, welcome back to Genesis, all. I think that most importantly, we should all get reintroduced before we kind of get moving here because it's been a little while, and
No.
I'll be honest. Oh, okay. We going from left to right. On the left, we have Eugene Prowers, doctor by name because he called himself that, drug dealer by trade, total slut. We have in the center there, Kid Doku, the skyscraper kid, homunculus child, part frog, all Doku. Then melted on the couch as a stain is our local cleaning service and potential monster, not monster. Our dear sweet. Wait a minute. Can you speak again, Jules? Did you? I just realized. There you go. Okay, I thought you were like wearing orange all of a sudden. It was just the sunset. I was like, what the fuck?
No, it's the
I
setting
don't stain.
I don't stain. Yes, we have our lovely amalgamation. Leftovers of a failed experiment gone correctly. Directly behind, we have Cabal. We found him in an abandoned laboratory like 3 days ago. But dear
he's-
Warforged friend who saved
Yes.
Doku.
A mysterious machine man who happens to have a brain inside of his chassis,
Metal body.
which may or may not make him a cyborg. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We won't get technical. Speaking of a cyborg, we have someone who's basically a cyborg. We have Primrose, our dear knight, who is very prim and proper, but desperately.
You say they're a primrose.
They are indeed a primrose, prim and proper flower of a woman. Also a knight, and now trying to see the world from the eyes of someone who eats carbs. Above them, we have our dear Marquis, also known as Trelio Lior, runaway heir to the Adelaide, I swear to God, runaway heir to the Lior family. I'm taking that away. Give me a minute. Give me this.
Man, even when it's a recording, there's scuff.
Yeah, right. I know.
Your daughter's actively sabotaging your online moments
it's like,
with your friends on Discord.
She was like, I see you talking. Let's ruin that. Anyways, we have our dear Marquis, our entertainer and performer, originally known as Trelio Lior, runaway son and heir to the Lior noble family. On the right, hiding away in the fireplace, is our dear friend Tessotuare Nisipuri, a Spider-Man and a Rune Keeper, technically.
Hello, I'm very Welsh, despite not sounding like it.
Yes, indeed. It has been a while, but Tessotuare, once shot in the face and left for dead, made his return to Ausar's company. And then finally, sitting on the windowsill, actively attempting to kill himself, is our dear Ausar King, which is my PNG, as we are actually embarking on a mission to save him, because he's being executed for
and
a
then
crime.
Also not seen here, we have Dr. Genevieve, who is currently really, really sick.
Yes, we have our dear Dr. Genevieve Valentina, who is sitting, sleeping, normally sitting on the couch, now is laying down.
You keep doing stuff, I'm gonna be messing with stuff in the background, see if I can add her in.
Yes, I will. But I think it's important that we do a quick little. A screw just fell out of my laptop. I think it's important that we do a little refresh because it has been so long. So,
if I remember correctly, it's better if you don't, because that one also has a daytime part of the map on it.
That is only part of the chair.
Yeah, but it illuminates it so much.
Does it?
Not too much. It should be fine. I want to see what it looks like, and if it's not. Yeah. If it's not good, then don't worry. The recording's not even going to see it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just change it. We're in recording. We can scuff a little bit.
Well, no,
anyways,
it's not even that. It's studio mode, so I'm editing it with like a different screen that the recording isn't saved.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anyways, I think it's a good time to kind of refresh everyone's memory as to what was going on this last week that you guys have been going on. But you basically all attended a party in the 5th district, which was normally one of the largest parties of the year, one of which Ausar was invited to, one of which you all were unintentionally invited to. Well, not really unintentionally, but you were invited mainly because the Pillar Knight who was hosting it thought Primrose was attractive and thought Eugene was going to bring good drugs. Both things are true. Both things happened. And you all made your way into said party. Now, you were there mainly at the request of, well, yourselves, but Ausar kind of had a suspicion as well, and had hoped at the very least that you all would be able to find something there, but he wasn't sure. As much as he didn't want to go, he'd think about it. However, when you arrived and things got down into the nitty-gritty, several things kind of caught your attention. The first of which was that there was a meeting in the back room with 3 mysterious figures, one of which a man of noble status, Iliaster von Greiger III, his blazing eminence. Also a dickhead. Also the man who shot Tessotuare in the face. But, secondly, and most importantly, the Ausar that you all saw arrive on the scene was not the Ausar that you had all expected to be there. Somebody, at least from what you can understand, posing as Ausar, made their way in with 2 other Pillar Knights and set off a bomb, a magical explosion. And while the explosion did rack some people and knock some people unconscious, there were no casualties. However, the building began to burn. And though you were able to evacuate relatively safely, it still pretty much destroyed one of the largest buildings in the 5th district. This isn't the worst that resulted in that, however, as this set off a chain of events which has now led to where you all are now. Ausar King was blamed for this terrorist attack and was arrested on the counts of terrorism. On top of this, his execution date was set for 1 week. Now, you all, not having any place to go and worrying that you could be connected to this crime, had to go on the run and went into hiding. Now, albeit stopping at a gas station and trying to find yourself a place to go, it was the Amalgamation who had a quick memory of a place that she considered home, leading you all to a small, burned-down home, and in the back, an underground laboratory. Upon entering the laboratory, you were assailed by what you can only assume to be Addy, Jesus Christ.
Also, real quick, I think that looks good. Everyone in the what do you think?
Yeah, I think it looks
I gotta
great.
hold the baby because she's trying to crush herself.
Yeah, cool. Then I'm gonna. There you go.
Yeah, it's not terrible, actually.
Yeah.
How about we don't try and crush our skull, huh, kiddo? Sorry, she just dropped a tent on herself. Why is this even in here? Regardless, finding this new place, you were assailed upon by a massive goo-like creature, very similar to the Amalgamation of which you keep in your company. After killing it and discovering a shard, this led to a whole new cavalcade of things that you had to do, which ended up with a surgery. You were able to upgrade the Amalgamation, which came to some positives, but story beats aside. There was another presence there with you and hunting you, seemingly following you. A small, gruff corgi with a cigar and an eye patch landed down and explained to you that he was a contact of Ausar's and had some concerns. But also, knowing now that you weren't the ones resulting in this, he wasn't going to attempt to kill you all. And thankfully, well, he was hoping that you guys could help him save Ausar. He wasn't sure where to start, but he had some leads. And those leads you did chase. Those leads you did track. Making some friends along the way. Some notable ones, just to not take too much time. Your first, and honestly biggest mission was the one day where Doku infiltrated the old apartment of Ausar, where you overheard a conversation with a knight who was seemingly trying to find evidence on the contrary of Ausar being guilty, though a Pillar Knight was very quickly on their way. Now, yes, hello, Fraby, you want to talk too. Now, most importantly, with all of this going on, Doku sneaks in, finds some information relating to Ausar, but most importantly, aside from a lockbox, finds a small crystal locked in a box, hidden behind the bathroom toilet. And Cheddar, his magical cat, not only being able to free Cheddar and save him, but bringing the crystal and the lockbox, you made your escape and you made your way back to your group. The next stop was to meet up with a contact. You met up with the Pillar Knight of the 4th District, Dejea, Nigolia. And though she had some questions and some concerns, she noted that there was talk of a cult. One that would be most likely led by Iliaster, or at least worshipping what he represented. And that she would do some more digging and information on it. But then, and possibly the most dangerous of this day, you had a dinner party scheduled with a dear friend of our dear Trelio Lior, calling in a favor from his friend Alan, who got him into the party in the first place, and an old dear friend for him. You guys met up with the Pillar Knight of the 1st District, Vera Tarsi. Now, normally that would be scary in its own right, but it was more scary that it was an ex. An ex that did not end amicably because it didn't end at all. He just left.
Hey, listen, things happen.
Things happened, I know.
Things happen. People try to kill you. You gotta get out. You know,
Yeah.
same old story. Everyone here has had a love story like that. Am I right?
Well, it got even better when another ex showed up, but not Trelio's ex, Alan's ex. Just so happened to be Trelio's sister, Pillar Knight of the 8th District. Sorry, the 9th District. She's the 9th District Pillar Knight. Pillar Knight of the 9th District, Dahlia Lior. A menace. Seething in rage as they all began to shout and yell while you all hid in a bunker. Waiting for the storm to pass. After the night was over and things calmed down, 2 things happened. One good and one bad. We'll start with the bad. That being that a dear next door neighbor won his blazing eminence, Iliaster von Greiger III, a name which I will always say to its completion, showed up to see what all the fuss was about. He's a prick. Now, while the situation was relatively handled, Tuare, in a moment of anger, maybe irritation, you don't quite know, stepped out and confronted the man who shot him, making his presence known, and most importantly, almost challenging him, a challenge which Iliaster met and welcomed him into their home whenever he desired. Now, on a plus side, aside from making an enemy of a well-off, very powerful, noble family, you were able to gain an ally from this, one who swore herself, and that would be Vera Tarsi. Because, and I quote, "I'm not letting you do something stupid again alone. I'm helping you." Now, with this ally gained, you set off on the next quest. Try and find out what the hell this dampening device or this crystal was. Stopping off with a quick friend of Genevieve's, a man named Donnie. He pulled him into his little stereo shack, radio hut, and inspected some of his workings on this, discovering that this thing was a crystal, something that is generated and given to the Pillar Knights to amplify themselves. And it's also acting almost like a phylactery. If a Pillar Knight is to die, their consciousness and their power, their soul itself is sealed into the crystal. And all they got to do is plop it into a new body, and they're back to life just as strong as before, if not stronger. But Donnie doesn't know how to replicate what he was planning on doing. He doesn't know how they got a hold of it, and most importantly, he doesn't want to know. But he wants to help Genevieve. And so he sends you off back to the district where it all started. in the 7th District, where Ausar was, where you all were when you all first met on the night of the attack. With a key card in hand and a passcode that you wrote down for this very occasion, you snuck your way through the 7th District, through a sex shop that came out through the sewers, that then led you all the way to the local hospital, the Greiger Family Hospital. Down there and climbing all the way into what is basically the lion's den. Well, you made your way into the depths, albeit not without alerting everyone in there. A quick power surge from a relic that Tuare has been holding on to lit up the elevator, but subsequently lit up the rest of the hospital. Now, this was a problem, but thankfully you were able to descend before they noticed. Digging in, you were assailed by a strange cybernetic creature, and you didn't kill it, and it didn't kill you, thankfully, and you were able to restrain it. Though to some protest with Marquis, and frankly, rightfully so, along with Eugene, you didn't kill the cybernetic creature. In fact, this robot seemed friendly, in some way, or not friendly, confused. With a bit of conversation going back and forth, Cabal shared with them the final moments of Dr. Torin Locke and the escape, which then led to the destruction of this laboratory as children came running out. Now, with the power still on and things going the way that they were, you inspected the crystal and discovered that it wasn't just some empty crystal. It wasn't Ausar's crystal, in fact. It appeared to be housing the soul of his late daughter. And he was using it in some way, but you don't know how. Regardless, step 1 was done. You figured out exactly what this was and how to get the power source going. Then you needed one last thing, which led us to where we are almost now. The party split into 2 groups, one of which was heading down to go and meet up with someone who could take you to the Undercity to get you in with Grove. The others were set to finish the relic and see if they could do something with it. Tesso Tuare knew of a place, one of his old archives, at least a part of it. Upon entering the archive, Tuare convened with the spirit of his old master in a hollow recording, and then began the process of crafting something that would end up becoming exquisite. With the help of Tuare's incredible skill and Cabal, with his pinpoint, nearly impossible to miss precision, with that of a machine and a human brain, you were able to create something that you still don't entirely understand. But thankfully, with everything going on, and Donnie being able to make the housing component for it, everything got sorted. You have 1 and 2, put them together, and you have made something now known as Predwin. The last place where we left off, 1 day before the execution and before your mission begins, is to try and find allies and find a path. But most importantly, if not allies, find proof. Proof that Ausar didn't do this. Half the party went to the Undercity, in which they found themselves in an old abandoned lab, one that Doku knew very well because it's where he grew up. Grew up, in quotes. With a dear friend of his attached to a tree in a wall, very injured. You have all been waiting as you heard the story that, well, Ausar's late, I shouldn't say late, she's still alive, Ausar's wife had joined with Grove in an attempt to try and find a way to cure the illness that had plagued their child. And she got radical as the days went on. She was scared. She said she was having dreams. And then she showed up trying to recruit more people, which is where we last left that group. The other group, however, you all were attempting to find a way in, trying to plot out a route for the rest of the party as we set off for this massive new adventure, or rather, potentially, your final adventure in an attempt to infiltrate the Spire, the Tower of Iris itself, and save Ausar's life. That has been your goal, and this is where we pick up. You guys have entered one half of the party, you are in the main city, the central city of government. You've been driving around for a little while, and you actually parked in an alleyway, if I remember correctly, and that's where we cut where you guys were. And the other team, who went to the Undercity, is currently waiting in a basement while not Rhea upstairs, I apologize, while, oh my lord, oh my god, I had everything, and then I can't remember her name. Oh no, quick, Edme. There we go, I got it. Edme, Ausar's ex-wife, has returned, and you have pretty much gotten the understanding that this changeling woman was potentially behind the attack that happened, but you don't know for sure. And she is currently upstairs trying to recruit more people, and she is angry. And this is where I can pick us back up with that recap. Definitely not a short one. Picked back up and gone. I will ask which group would like to pick up first. The exploratory group trying to find a path, or one moment, guys. Before we do that, and I'll let you think, Addie has fallen asleep on my shoulder, so I'm gonna go put her to bed. I looked and I heard her snoring. I'm gonna go put her to bed while you guys decide what to do. Did I talk you to sleep?
I'm gonna be real, I accidentally tuned out at, like, the tail end of it all.
So Edme was the most recent part of that. Edme being Alsar's ex-wife.
Yeah, I remember us going down to the Undercity and talking to Grove.
Yeah, the changeling lady who was angry and recruiting people.
Yeah.
So if memory serves me right, along with that whole explanation, we were going to talk to her to not confront, but try and like sneakily get information on Grove, and finally potentially put a nail in the coffin of whether it was Grove or someone posing as Grove.
So
Yeah.
I think we already got the information there, because I remember I was a part of that group. I believe that group was Doku, me, and like one other person, I think. And I believe, like, whenever I came down there, I was like, yo, I was trying to be sneakily, but then at some point we got to a back room, and we were like, okay, fucking full cards on the table, this is what's happening. Like, all right, full cards on the table, this is what's happening. And we were like, so it's less as a Grove as a whole, and more of like Edme doing her own shit.
Yeah.
And I think now we're dealing with, because there was both Edme and then there was the other lady that we were talking to, and I believe we ended the last session with Edme showing up, and so I believe that the group that's down with the Grove is currently dealing with Edme. But I forget what the other group was doing and who that consists of. I think I need to track this down. We made like a list of, like, I believe this is where everyone's going where.
Yeah,
Yes.
if I recall correctly, it was Cabal, Genevieve, and then I think somebody else.
It was Cabal, Genevieve, and Primrose. And I think the amalgamation, if I remember correctly, went to the scouting district, and then the rest went to the Undercity.
I was with the group that made the artifact Pridwin.
Yes, and so I'm pretty sure that I'm actually pretty sure that the Predwin group also is the group that went to the center city.
Yeah, because I believe the two groups was the one group that went to the Undercity and the one group that was like scouting the district. And so the people that went to the Undercity, I know it was me, I know it was Doku. I don't remember if Eugene came with us.
I think that the plan was to have the one charismatic person per group.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Eugene went with the other group to try and suss out some information. Wait a minute? If I'm remembering that incorrectly, Eugene, please correct me. You have persuasion, correct? Bro,
Let me check.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
I believe so, because
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe maybe I chose deception over
Well,
persuasion.
honestly, deception would be
Yeah.
better for you guys are going.
Yeah, either one is fine. The only reason I ask is because I know you had a skill. But either way, I'm pretty
So,
sure that you guys broke up
Then yeah,
so that you could
I
have
think
one.
Eugene went up there, and I know that group consisted of Genevieve, Eugene, I thought Primrose as well.
Yeah, it was Genevieve, Primrose, Cabal, and Eugene.
Yeah,
and
Cabal came
Tuare-
down with us. I remember that as well.
Did he? Because I thought Cabal went up top because I remember him being in the van because Tuare came with you. Tuare came with you guys.
With us. Okay.
Yeah, Tuare went with you guys
I do
because.
have persuasion.
Okay, good. I was just curious.
And then now it's just a question of like where the amount. I think the amalgamation also went up top because I don't remember them.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember either at this point.
I believe the amalgamation went up top because I don't remember you talking a ton while we were down below.
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Actually, if I even remember it, I was even specifically like, I believe the people going to the Undercity, it would be best to be a smaller group.
I also think they brought
I went to the Undercity though.
I also thought you went to the Undercity, but then Freya was like, no, they went up top.
Oh, am I incorrect? Maybe you know what? It's been a while. Here's what I'll say: we'll do a minor retcon.
I just took a nap in the van. I didn't go anywhere. I took a nap.
Let's figure out who all went where.
Yeah. We'll do a minor retcon real quick, even though I'm not a huge fan. This is a moment where we don't fucking remember.
It's been a month, and no one thought it smart to watch the previous VOD.
Yeah, no, we didn't. So it's all good. Where does everybody want to go? Who wants to be a part of the underground team? Who wants to be a part of the scouting operation up top with Bjorf?
I'll do the scouting.
I'd also like to do the scouting.
Okay.
And then Eugene, do you want to go with the scouting as well? Because it probably would actually be best to have a high charisma person up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
That's 3 there.
Yeah.
Amalgamation, do you want to go as well?
Okay,
Sure.
That's a So then the people down below would be me, Doku, and Tuare. Do you want to come or no?
I think the reason I remember Tuare wanting to go was because Edme was there and they had history.
Yes, that is correct.
Actually,
Actually,
no.
yeah. So Tuare also. Honestly, I think this is what the group was.
I actually do too.
I believe our retcon made it to the appropriate.
Oh,
the only change is that Eugene is going with the scouting.
What were you saying, Tuare?
A quick thing. In this version of the game, I don't think they have history because I talked to you about that and you said that they didn't.
No. So you did. Remember, you brought up what happened to your wife and daughter.
Yeah,
Like,
I also remember
What?
you bringing this up.
My wife.
Yeah, no, not your wife.
When
Alsar's
does
wife.
Patty have a wife?
Okay.
Oh wait,
I was
Lynn. Okay, wait.
Tuare has a wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no.
no. I also remember Tuare bringing up the fact that you and Edme had a history, and that was like the reason why you went to go down to Grove.
There were some things that didn't carry over. But the one thing that did was that Edme and you knew each other when you were working with Alsar before. And if you remember, during the party, you laughed at me because you thought that I had forgotten that Alsar already said that he missed Tuare and is glad that he was back, when it was Edme in his face, most likely.
Yeah, I remember that now.
All right,
Okay,
so
but
basically, the only real retcon is Eugene going with the up top party.
Okay, cool.
I will say that one thing I do want to do before we go is I'm actually going to, because I feel like this is needed, I'm going to install Pridwin into fucking Cabal if he allows me to.
Oh, right.
He would, yes.
Right. So it takes an hour to attune, and with all the driving and everything, I'd just say that you probably did it before you left, so you are attuned at level 1 attunement. This is an attunement.
In terms of who should be focusing on what, it was focusing more on the Edme team last session. I think it'd be only fair to focus on the exploration team at the beginning of this session.
I agree. So we will leave that at the we will leave you guys off with Cowboy Bartender going, "Hey, Edme's up top and she's making a fuss." Now, the exploration team aside, Genevieve would be the one driving, obviously, and the drive itself is relatively calm, all things considered. Driving into the center city, I just to reset the stage. The center city is not very different to the rest of the city of Iris itself, but this is basically the seat of government power. The center city, the Tower of Iris itself, the building and the buildings around there, there's almost no living quarters here. In fact, the ones that are actually there are mainly for emergency bunkers. There is nothing to do here aside from working in the government and tourism, which they do allow some tourists to swing on by. This is basically an event platform. Some notable things that you would see is these two large circular streets that go lower and lower as you go towards the center, which is blocked off, that leads to the massive crystal tower that has been modified over the years to act more as a giant skyscraper. When you all arrived, it was pretty early in the morning, if I remember correctly. It was probably like, I remember that the bottom team got there around noon, so that would say that this team probably got there around like 10:30, because it really wasn't that far of a drive when you all left, and they had to go down to an entirely different area. Now, finding your way back into the city, Genevieve will... I'm going to steal your control over here, Quest. I apologize when you read this, but when you watch this back later. Genevieve will pull into an alleyway and look back to you all and explain that she's going to stay with the van. She needs to, be your getaway driver should anything go incorrectly. Now, the closest you all can get is the second layer. This is a tiered city. There's the upper level of buildings, there's the middle level, and then there is the tower. Now, your job is to find a way to get into that tower. And how you're going to go about that, well, that's entirely up to you. Now, you do have Treadwin, and it is installed in Cabal. So, Cabal, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how this thing works at level 1 attunement. Mm-hmm. The longer you stay attuned to this thing, the longer it takes to become unattuned to this thing. Most importantly, you only get access to these first few abilities, but this is a really good one. 3 times a day, you are able to cast about the 30-foot radius, if I remember correctly, of targets you choose. And within that sphere, basically, you are able to have everyone affected by Pass Without Trace, and they are all invisible. And they also are not... Basically, it's a dampening field. That's exactly what it sounds like. You can do this, but...
I have the picture of it, actually,
on
my
phone.
So I can,
you can just pull it back up. Yeah, I think I made like 9 revisions to it. But yes, 3 times a day. It lasts for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But if anybody does anything that would break the invisibility, the effect is immediately used and counts as all 10 minutes.
Right.
So you have to be very careful. Now the question becomes, as you all get out of the van and Genevieve parks in a shady alleyway where there's basically a loading dock, how are you all going to go about this? Now, if I remember correctly, Bjorf was coming with you all, but he said he was going to meet you there. So the question is, do you want to wait for Bjorf, or would you like to do some scouting on your own before then?
I would like to, first of all, tell Genevieve that if it becomes between us or the van, to save the van, because I'm leaving the remainder of my drug stash in here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Wait, which team am I with? Am I with top side or bottom? I think
you were top side, so you're here.
Yeah, you're with the top side.
I mean, I think we can get a bit of a head start. Nothing too crazy. We can just survey our immediate surroundings and make sure there's no immediate threats now or when we come back to the van later.
Mm-hmm. Now, how would you like to go about that? Now, again, to set the stage here, these are all basically government buildings, but that doesn't mean that there's no public access. This center city is a huge tourist spot. And I will say that it's pretty crowded, actually, because there's an execution tomorrow, and people are morbidly curious what that entails. So, how do you want to go about that? Do you want to get a view from the sky? Maybe get into one of the buildings? Do you want to try and stay low, move with the crowd? Like I said, I leave this up to you.
Mm.
I want to kind of blend
That's
into a
weird.
crowd.
Okay.
Do we want to find some terminal or a computer somewhere that can then give us access to like
All
a
the cameras.
layout like a layout of the streets and whatnot?
Well, honestly, you wouldn't even really have to get into a terminal because, like bus stops, you know how they have the map.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's bus stops on. Yeah, you keep in mind, this is a modern city, so you'll be able to find that pretty easily. You wouldn't even have to like hack into anything. You'd just be able to go, oh, cool.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted a layout of like the blueprints or like the sewer systems, then you'd probably have to go to like public records, which would
Yeah.
be in this district, but you'd have to get over there.
Yeah, what I was thinking is if they're going to be closing off streets, like, to limit traffic for the execution, then I would imagine we need some sort of alternative route.
Yes, most likely. And also, Eugene, you're blending into a crowd. Now, the question is, when you blend into the crowd, what are you doing? Are you just walking with them? Are you just listening to maybe what they're saying? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna do the blending into a crowd thing where it's like totally obvious and suspicious, but because it's like cinema, no one cares. Where I like put on my sunglasses and like pop up my collar and hunch my shoulders. But I'll cast disguise self, so I'm not purple.
Okay, good. He's
But yes.
just snake-like.
It's not purple.
Yeah, I'm just a regular snake now.
I'm
not
just a
purple snake.
regular snake. Now I'm green. Okay, that's fair.
I'm a green snake.
Fair enough.
I'm a snake.
Now I'm gonna get.
But-
I'm gonna get to that first. Then, if you're not going any particular way.
Okay.
Okay, but what were you
First.
saying? I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I'm not really sure what exactly I would do besides just follow crowds of people. Maybe like, try and follow behind and listen to some businessmen or some government workers while posing as a tourist.
Well, in this crowd, and I mean this crowd is you basically have slipped yourself into like a high school class's field trip. And it was just the largest crowd that you could go to. And you're kind of getting a bit of a history lesson as you walk through the streets. Now, you're obviously not blending in with the children very well, but you are just kind of keeping pace with them. And albeit you get some strange looks from the chaperones, there's nothing outwardly problematic with it. Now,
A little problematic.
it's a little problematic, but you're not
I'm
doing it.
confident, so they're not calling me out on it yet.
Exactly. You just look like you're walking with this crowd, but you're not a part of this crowd. You go your own way. God damn it. At this point, you hear one of the chaperone or the leads explaining as they're giving a tour, and most of the kids are not paying attention. They're scrolling on Aristagram or they're watching Tic Tacs. And even just a quick cursory glance, you can see some of them. Some of the skyscraper kid trends still kicking off, where people are trying to run up walls and immediately collapsing on the floor.
That's fucking funny. I love watching kids
Trying to
fall flat on
do
their
some
face.
Mirror's Edge shit.
Yeah, they're trying to do what Doku did, and they can't figure out how they did it. But the tour guide is kind of leading you towards some of the buildings. Now they were like, and this is our public records, and this is the treasury. And as you continue down walking, you're probably walking just a few blocks, and you're getting a general layout of what building is what, and you're probably making mental notes of it. So for what I will say is that by sticking with this tour group, you get a general lay of what government buildings are on this level just by sticking with them. Now, I'm going to let you stick with them for a little bit. Primrose, what are you doing? Because I know I'm going to get to you as well, Cabal, but you haven't said anything yet, so I'm putting you on the spot. And Amalgamation, I'm getting you.
No worries.
What will. Here's what I'll do. Being a knight, I would be familiar with the patrol routes that knights typically walk along and the things that they look for when they're on patrol. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have my our little like cards that make us look different. I'm gonna have that on, and just be someone who's like casually like going for a stroll on this afternoon, and then just take like mental note of those patrol routes so that we have an idea of what places to avoid and how to like skillfully and like strategically go about those alternate routes so that we don't get caught when they do close down the streets.
Makes sense. So you are scouting that out. Now, what I will say is go ahead and oh god. I just realized it's been so long since we've played, I couldn't even remember what all of the skills were in 5e. I had to think about it. That's all right. I found them. I pulled up a sheet. Now, you're specifically looking for alternative ways into the city. So you're not really getting a lay of what the government buildings are. You're specifically looking for a way in. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Mhm.
And... yeah, no, do you have a drone? I don't remember if you have a drone.
I get a drone later on, but I'm not high level yet.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Thrown on my Christmas wish list.
I'm gonna roll using my turtle dice.
It's called Life Day, Eugene. No, I'm kidding.
My God.
Okay, so investigation, you said. That is a 19 plus 5.
So, okay. 24. That's literally one of the best. That's some of the best you could roll. Cool. All right. Well, that's more than enough. But the DC was 25. No, I'm kidding. No, the DC was actually not that. It wasn't even that high. It was like a 16. Looking around and having a general feel for this. Hello, perfect timing. Having a general feel for the lay of this land, and as a knight, even before you were a knight, in your guard training and getting everything all set up, you have an idea of how this place works. And in particular, looking around, not much has changed about the center city. In particular, and the most important thing, is that you know that there are patrol tunnels. Basically, ways for the central city guard to remain unseen, as this is the hub of tourism, basically. It's kind of almost like a Disney thing where they're like, all right, cleaning staff, hide. Never let them know. Don't kill the magic. It's a similar thing where it's a similar thing here, and you're aware of these tunnels. And in particular, you know that they're still active because in a wall, you kind of catch a glance and there's a cutout carving in that wall. And you would remember that just by pressing it on the right area, it would open up a door of which you could enter into these service tunnels. And these service tunnels can pretty much get you into any layer down one. But this doesn't lead to the center. This will only get you into the city and then down one level. You still have a third level to get to. But that is something. That's actually pretty solid. Now, you're still doing that. You're trying to find a better route. I go now to the amalgamation. What are you up to? What are you searching for?
I have absolutely no clue. I'm just kind of following someone.
You can follow me.
You can
All
follow me. That's perfect. All right, sweet then. Actually, that's perfect.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Now that I think about it,
why am I here? Like sitting there, like I just came. Let me give along for the ride.
Well, to be fair, the amalgamation really has nowhere to go in this situation. So they're gonna follow someone no matter what.
That's fair. Can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Uh-oh. Me, a wisdom saving throw? You're asking me to do that?
Actually, not wisdom. I apologize. This is more about the core of your being. Make it charisma.
Can we go back to wisdom?
You'll never see
Well,
it
good-
coming.
well, good luck.
Dead amalgamation.
Oh god.
Well, good
Charisma
luck.
roll. 14.
You made it. You made it.
You'll only be taking half of 60-12 psychic damage.
You don't
No.
rip every single child around you to oblivion.
Oh, yeah,
Congrats.
no, thankfully you did it. You didn't do anything bad. Now, oh wait a minute, what the hell? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I thought my mic broke. I would have cried, by the way. I just bought this thing. While you're walking with Eugene, Valen, you catch a glimpse. Now I can't even say you catch a glimpse. In your view and in the view from any part of this center city is the Tower of Iris. It is the largest structure in the city of Iris. Even to this day, they have not built above it. They see it as disrespectful and they would never do it. But kind of getting so close to it, you can almost hear this resonant humming. It's very faint, but it seems like it's trying to draw you in. And if you were perhaps a little less sentient and a little less intelligent as you are now, with a piece of that shard in your chest having improved you, it may have caught you. But there's this inkling that's pulling you closer to it. Thankfully, though, you don't get pulled, and you're able to snap yourself out relatively quickly. You're far enough away that it doesn't seem to be affecting you, but you do know that this is something you may have to keep in mind as you get closer.
Mm-hmm.
You are safe for 24 hours.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord.
Now, Cabal,
Yes.
you have Predwin, meaning that you can go completely invisible and completely hidden to electronic devices on top of your Pass Without Trace. You could get into something if you knew where to go, but the question is, where do you want to go? How do you want to try and scout this location out?
Well, like I said, if the streets are going to be blocked off, we need alternative access. There are public records, and if there's public records, there's bound to be records within the public records. You know, schematics and all that.
That is true. You'd probably be able to find something like that, but there's a lot of buildings. And trying to find that public records building is not going to be as easy as you'd think. However, Eugene might know because he's sticking with people. So, wait, do you have a phone?
I am the phone.
Oh, that's true. I guess that
You
tracks.
just text messages directly into his brain.
It just sounds like an auto text from his brain. He like types using his eyes.
Oh, I don't like that.
I am
Me
the
neither.
computer.
Please don't type with your eyeballs.
Well, with a quick eyeball text to Eugene, I can only assume.
No.
Oh, okay. No, I saw what he did. He did it with his eyes.
Yeah, you know what I
that's-
mean
we're
is
not
like
doing that.
he like types out a text message in like the periphery of his vision and sends it to Eugene saying, "I require your assistance. I require your assistance in locating schematics."
Now,
Um,
go ahead, and this is a very low roll, but
yes.
I think that it'd be very funny to still try. Go ahead and make me a history check. I'm telling you right now, the DC is 5 because
Oh my god.
because you've been walking with this crowd, but this tour guide has been talking, and I love Eugene, but I also know Eugene. There's a good chance he
Hey.
might have just tuned out.
Hey,
Would
hey, his intelligence isn't his negative modifier, it's his wisdom.
No. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying that he'll tune out and stop listening.
Yeah. I
that
got
a negative
7, by the
stats?
way.
That's good, you bad.
I was potentially going to like say like if Cabal could like help by like cross-referencing like what he has in his own database, and by database I mean like database that's like been like jerry-rigged to his brain, but
Yeah, no
nonetheless.
need. I said that DC was 5 because if that failed, it would have been hysterical. Anyways, the reason the DC was so low is literally 3 buildings ago you passed the public records. Like, so yes, you would know where that is. You could tell Cabal where to go.
Woohoo! I
Hello?
will, as long as he doesn't text me with his eyeballs.
I don't think he has a choice otherwise.
I mean,
Better not.
I mean, he's not really. I mean, he's technically like texting with his eyeballs. Just he's eyeing the text chat and just typing as responses automatically.
He's thinking the responses. So he's not actually
Yes.
typing with his eyes. He's typing with his brain.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
worse.
If he was typing with his eyes would be coming out of his head.
Now, the question I leave for Eugene and also Valen is, are you going to stick with the group or do you want to go with Cabal in there? I leave that choice to you guys because Primrose is off inspecting, which I'm going to get back to you on that, Primrose, depending on what you want to do. The question is, do you want to continue with the group and get a better understanding of the rest of the buildings in this area? Or do you want to stick back with Cabal and then sneak into public records? Or really just walk in, because you can just walk in. It's public records.
All that I know is that I'm following Eugene, so it's Eugene's decision.
It is my decision. I'll go hang out with Cabal as long as he doesn't text me with his eyes.
Oh, cool. All right. So with a quick text, you are able to let Cabal know, yeah, I know where it is. Here's where it is. I'm waiting for you. Get over here, loser. Eugene.
I'll wink at the teacher as I leave. Flirtatiously.
All right. Roll seduction.
I was about to, I was about to say if Eugene actually replies like see you there, loser, Cabal will just type back Cabal will type back
I got
issuing
11.
profanity. Issuing profanity. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a short walk over to the public records for you, Cabal. For well, actually, yeah, it's not too far either way. It's not really a short walk for either one of you. It's probably like maybe like 100 feet away from the amalgamation and from the others, but you're a little farther away. So eventually, you meet up. Now, the public record. Oh, no,
Cabal strides over. He has a fairly normal looking stride, except it has that slight what is it, mannerism of being kind of rigid.
Oh, stiff.
Yeah.
Rigid,
stiff. Yeah, because mechanical.
Mm-hmm. Now that's another thing. You're a robot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Before Cabal even bothers going out in the public, he's gonna need to find himself a disguise or something.
Is currently out in public, or
at least before he goes out near crowds.
Is currently out near crowds during a very busy day.
Alter Self is an ability I can get, but I don't have it in my thing right now.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's not going to be too big of a deal. You just have to act like a robot servant. Or however you want to.
Here's me wearing street clothes.
Yeah, it's true. You all make it to the Public Works building pretty much around the same time. Well, this end shows up a few minutes later. The Public Works building is one of the bigger buildings. It's less a public record, more kind of the best way to describe it is like the Library of Congress. It has a lot of information, and most of it's digital. But there are some older things that have not been updated or uploaded for that matter. So, but there is nothing stopping you from going in. It's like a Friday or whatever day, the Friday equivalent. So the question becomes: are you just walking through the front door? Are you finding something a little more shady? What do you guys want to do? How do you want to get to this?
Front door seems way too obvious. So we
Let's
might
go
have to
to the
find a
front
side
door.
entrance if we're gonna be stealthy about this.
Now, keep in mind, there is a public section. So, like, they have, like, literally while you're standing there, there are crowds of people walking in and walking out. Like, it's busy today.
Ah, okay.
I
We
love
could
being
use the
shady.
we could use the crowds to our advantage.
Can I be shady in the crowds?
Wouldn't that draw attention to you? I mean, you could.
Wouldn't that draw attention?
But it would be so much fun.
Listen, you can. I'm not telling you no. I'm just saying, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of being sneaky?
Well, no, I'll be shady. Me, and my amalgamation buddy will be a distraction. So our very obviously totally a robot can sneak in and get in the information. Well, we'll be the red herrings.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea. Sure, if you
I'll get
really want to.
amalgamation some sunglasses I stole from a thrift shop.
Can't believe you stole those from that China shop. Sorry, the bull in the China shop store.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, amalgamation and amalgamation, I'll let you get some advantage on this because you're standing next to the shadiest man alive.
All right.
Both of you roll deception. You don't
Ball's
get
gonna-
advantage, Eugene.
Cabal's gonna be
Advantage.
walking some distance away from them to make him look inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get advantage.
You do? Or who does?
No, the amalgamation gets advantage just by being next to him. You get advantage for already being shady, so you both get advantage. I
Okay.
didn't say that was my bad.
So,
Make it a
whoops,
deception roll.
Whoops. Oh, 18 because of advantage.
Nice.
Oh my god.
I rolled
Oh
two.
my god.
Because I forgot
You're
on the
carrying
sheet
the
to roll
show,
with
dude.
advantage.
That's oh my god. Oh,
So what'd you get, Eugene?
I got 11.
With advantage?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Roll
So,
a 5.
well, actually, that's fair. All right. Well, you both wait a bit before entering, and you turn to the amalgamation, and you kind of whisper like, "Hey, you know, let's be shady." And the amalgamation, being the amalgamation, takes this literally, and however you want to describe making yourself shady, I'll let it go. That's up to you, Jules. You can completely decide how is the amalgamation going to act shady, because they need to act shadier than Eugene.
Well,
I gave you some cool shades too.
I'm a tree.
I'm a tree.
first things first. First things first. What's shady?
That is a good question.
You know, like me, like someone who's gonna sell drugs to your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Once again, drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Sex?
I'm not.
Turns
I don't
into
know
a
what those
pharmacist.
are.
That's you'll find out when you're older. Just make your best guess.
You could turn into a pharmacist.
That the amalgamation has no idea how to do this. They don't understand the concept of shady nor what drugs are.
Okay. But like kind of like a spooky, like kind of like a
Spooky.
Ooh.
Okay. I cut my
Yeah.
arm off.
Oh
Ah.
god. 9 or 10 people gasp as a small crowd forms around you as you've just severed your own arm.
Can I reattach it? And then I reattach it back.
Okay.
Well, Cabal is probably like somewhere waiting by like a
This-
corner or something, just watching all this unfold.
I was actually gonna say, with the shock and terror that comes, do you want to sneak in there, Cabal, or how do you want to do this?
I'll sneak in. I'll use the crowd to my advantage.
Cool.
And I'll shoot Eugene and probably the amalgamation attack saying I am inside.
Now here's the question: are you just going in without, with or without Predwin active? Do you want to be seen at all? Because again, you have basically 30 minutes of pure stealth, so long as you don't break it.
You know what?
Okay.
I'll do a little something. Cabal will before he even goes in, he'll probably go around the corner, outside of the building. He'll kind of do a quick inconspicuous scan around, and then to himself, he won't actually say anything, but in his vision, he will initialize what he calls the Predwin protocol, stealth drive active, and he will activate Predwin.
Upon activating Predwin, because this thing installed in you while it's harmonizing is kind of attached to your core. Now it's not.
It's essentially merged with his spark.
Yeah, at least a little bit. Keep in mind, it is still kind of bulging. There will be multiple layers to this, depending on how long you stay attuned. Now, as the shield kind of activates, you, as a cyborg, as you are, you can't really feel anything. You don't really have nerves at this point. So the sensation that drapes over you, the best way you can describe it would be is that for a second you think that you're shorting out, as there's this sensation that drapes over your back and then hangs over top your shoulders. And in your audio processors, you're able to hear a very quick didn't work. Very quick hush. Yeah, a quick shh. There we go. I have to fuck. I'm looking at my Discord. I'm like, shh.
It keeps cutting out.
Keeps cutting out. Regardless, you hear a quick hush, and no one seems to notice you. Now,
with that, Cabal will briefly recompose himself, and he will turn to the door.
Now, this is where I'm going to want some stealth checks, because even though you are invisible and Pass Without Trace does make it so that your footsteps are silent, and a few other things actually, stops you from leaving a trail, you still have to open doors. Yes. And you still have to move in. So go ahead and make me a stealth check, but you're going to get it with advantage, obviously.
Both an advantage, and I believe Pass Without Trace also gives you a
plus
10.
Yes,
pushes up my classes.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, you also get the plus 10.
All right, let us see. So that's going to be a 19 in total.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Opening the door is pretty easy. Nobody is paying attention. There's more people mortified as they swarm around the amalgamation, whose arm fell off, and Eugene going, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Somebody call an ambulance.
Oh god. Okay, and then the amalgamation puts it back on.
Not for me.
You said scary.
It's meant to be scary. I know people don't like. Things like this happen, so
don't cry.
You're gonna make the amalgamation cry.
Oh.
Don't cry.
Now with I'm sorry. Go on. No. Go.
I was gonna say I'm just waiting for a certain word to be tossed around. I'm just waiting for that. You probably know. You probably know what it is, but I'm not. Don't say it out loud, obviously.
Oh, okay.
What word is it?
You don't need to know.
Not yet, anyways. Now, while the commotion is going on outside and people are still very confused, but now instead of freaking out, they're looking at you kind of side-eyed as you reattach your own arm. Thankfully, with the commotion out front, Cabal is able to sneak his way in. There is just one issue. Iris takes its security very safely. And there are, aside from 2 security guards that are filing people through, there are metal detectors. Now, thankfully, you're invisible and also silent. And with that 19, you're pretty solid. The question is, are you going to try and sneak under a table to get around the security checkpoint? Are you just winging it?
Wouldn't Predwin shut off the electronics?
Thank you for remembering. Yes, it would.
Yeah. So as Cabal's just walking through, everything just kind of shorts out and just walks through like it's nothing.
The thing is, this doesn't even short out. It does not go off. So you make your way in to the library, and I'm just basically going to call it the Grand Library at this point. Yeah. Or the archives, that's better. You make your way into the archives, and it is admittedly not as big as you expected. In comparison to something like the 4th district, where it's this towering academia and there's spires, and the great library there is huge and like 5 floors. This is barely 2. Most of the stuff on display is stuff like Irisian history and important documents on display. You're seeing things like the original map of the city of Iris, or a letter that has been kind of oh, there we go. Sorry, just checking some, or just general documentation, but nothing in particular. So if you want to look, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
I will do so. Yeah, as Cabal is doing this, he's also probably running like a small subroutine, just like copy down titles of books and stuff to like refer back to at some point.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's a 10.
The one thing you're able to glean from this is that what you're looking for doesn't appear to be here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not here, but it's not out for the public to see. Now, the question is, you're specifically looking for alternate routes. You're specifically what exactly are you looking for? I know that you want to find an alternate route with like shutoffs and everything. Are you trying to find like guard data? Are you trying to find like a general like full-on map of this and how most people do it? What do you want to look for?
Honestly, something a bit comprehensive. Things like guard patrol data, things like probably like service entrances, things like routes that don't require streets, like underground routes, not necessarily sewers. It's kind of like the tunnels that we took before to get to the hospital, something like that.
Understandable.
Yeah. Something like service tunnels, something like what guard patrols look like, what security details are like within the tower itself.
Now,
that seems like very sensitive data and would not be out to the public.
So then that question then leads, since this was what you were looking for in terms of that, now there are public computers where you can look up records and whatnot as well. Now, I leave the question to you. Do you want to try and maybe find where they're keeping this? Do you want to look in public records on a computer? Where do you want to go from here?
I'll start with the public records, see if there's anything I can glean there. Start with the obvious and then work my way down, I suppose.
Understandable. Go ahead and now, so you're starting with public records in terms of like looking on a computer, yeah?
Yes.
There's one issue.
Yeah, the computer's going to be shorted out by me being near them.
Yes, so you will have to turn Predwin off. Now keep in mind, that does use up one of your 10 minutes. To clarify how Predwin does work, You get 10 minutes, but when the effect is dispelled, it uses up the rest of it. So you have to be very careful with how you use it. So
Does
if
it
you're
recharge,
okay with
though?
that, it does recharge, but it takes a full day.
Okay.
The question remains, you still have 2 more uses. Or do you want to do this at another time and maybe try and find something else? I'm just making sure that I do this and I cover my bases so you don't go,
Well, first, Cabal's going to orient himself so he's out of view of a camera. Somehow, if possible.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception. I'll let that one be perception.
All right. That's a 9. God damn it.
Yeah, you're out of the way of a camera. You think?
I would say if you did see one, if Pred1 is still active, you could just go up to deactivate camera, slash the wiring.
Actually, Oh wait,
That
oh
is-
wait, oh wait, no, I was about to do something, but then I realized that would probably also deactivate Predwin, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna go probably to like in between like a set of bookcases, and then use find familiar, and then send my familiar to a security camera and deactivate it that way.
Yep, that would be casting a spell. It would break Predwin's effect. Now, I will say that Fue was correct to some extent. You could cut the wires of a camera, but technically that would be an action because you'd
So-
have to go in and turn it off.
So I have a question.
Yes.
The invisibility part of Predwin, basically. It's just like normal invisibility. It is attacking
Yeah.
or casting a spell.
It is not greater invisibility. Not
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
anyway.
So cutting a wire like that, I believe, would be more of a interacting with an item, which
That's
wouldn't-
true.
Which wouldn't break normal invisibility.
I'm-
Attacking
okay.
typically consumes like, I'm drawing my weapon and I'm going like I'm making this like vicious motion.
Yep. Okay. Then I agree. Then yeah, you can absolutely go up. You're
Okay.
absolutely correct.
Yeah. So in that case, I'll find the closest security camera, which obviously would not be able to see me. It will probably already be getting shorted up by me being near it.
Yeah. So keep in mind, it
And,
doesn't
yeah, I'll go
short you out, it just doesn't show you on it. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't go off.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so I will go up to it, and I'll kind of, I want to see if I can probably hack into it to try and disable it.
Do you have electronics or hacking?
I don't have proficiency in it necessarily.
Well,
So in that
I'll
case, I
look.
probably just have to go with just cutting the wire. Because what I was thinking is I could just go with some like,
looping it basically, like looping the feed.
yeah,
Yeah, no. Yeah, those are proficiencies that you'd have to really like be safe, but you still could try. They're both intelligence skills, and I know you have a decent intelligence.
I'll give the hacking a try at least. Just using like whatever doohickeys Cabal has within his hands.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead. Now I'm going to tell you the DC is going to be a little higher than just cutting it. Obviously, there is no DC for cutting it. But yeah, give it a
Let's
shot.
see. Let's see. What are these dice rolls today? Everyone
So what'd you get?
a 9. Yeah, everyone's just rolling crap today again.
Welcome back to Genesis. Nothing goes right.
Looks at my 19.
Alright,
So, except
so
for
the hacking
Julian.
does not appear to go well. Cabal like produces like a small like spike or something out of his finger, tries to maneuver it into the camera, and he just can't quite fit it in there, or can't quite find a good spot to implant it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
So with that, he'll actually use the spike, remove his finger, and just cut the wire with it.
Understandable. Wire goes cut, and you hear a bit of a zzz anyways after your hacking attempt. There's this sound of it almost kind of shorting out, but then recovering, and then you cut the feed.
All right.
For your intents and purposes, you assume that it is dead.
All right. With that, I will head to a computer that is probably within like viewing distance of it, and And I'll take it. I'll take the risk and deactivate Predwin.
And before I get to tell you what happens, I'm going to jump real quick.
Okay.
Because there's stuff going on outside. And I'm going to get to the amalgamation and Eugene after this one, but I know that June has to jump. So June, or rather Primrose.
Yes.
You have located one of these tunnels. Now you don't see anybody going in, but you do recognize them. What do you want to do? Do you want to continue looking? Do you want to maybe find a guard patrol? Where would you like to go from here?
Essentially what I'm looking to do is to look for a smart routing, basically. So knowing that they're closing off streets because of the whole execution thing, and with my previous knowledge of guard patrols, I want to essentially find us the best, like the safest and maybe quickest, but primarily safest in terms of like guards and stuff. And also, well, I mean, cameras was fine, but the safest and best route to the place where Alsar is being held, so that we can kind of come in from like a good angle. Yeah.
Okay. So the question would then be, how do you want to go about that? Do you want to go and try and maybe access this tunnel? Do you want to maybe just walk down to the next layer of the city? Because it's not hard. You can literally walk all the way down to the next layer of the city, and then you can even walk to the city level below, but you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah. So with my previous role being as high as it was and finding this tunnel, I'm gonna take advantage of that and see where this tunnel leads into that whole like strategic routing. See where it goes.
Yeah, even rolling off of your investigation roll, I'll kind of hold it through with that for a second. You have a general idea of how these tunnels work, and so just by walking up to this little like indent in the wall, you would know exactly where to press. In particular, the top right corner. It's kind of harder to reach, but it's definitely not something somebody could just lean on. Pressing it in, you hear a click and the audible sound of things moving behind the scenes as the stone just kind of parts, and you are met with a ladder, a circular pit, and a ladder that leads down.
Mm-hmm. So then I'm going to take out my phone and message in the group chat, firstly, the location of this tunnel, and basically just say that I found it here. I'm going to just make sure that it's kosher, that it's fine, and see where it leads, but possibly could be a good route for us to take when we got to go get Alsar, our boy, out of the pickle he's in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
now the question becomes, do you want to go down?
Actually, with my, let me just pull it up here. With my X-ray vision, which is it's the thing that I use in a 30-foot cone to detect like items and objects and things, not people, but objects and things.
Mm-hmm.
Could I tell if this thing goes down more than 30 feet?
It doesn't go down deeper than 30 feet, at least not here. From what you're able to kind of sense out, as there seems to be a bit of a lining, you can see the ladder descend, and it then begins to, there's a landing, and then it goes inwards. It's only like 15 feet down. So it's relatively shallow. You're just kind of below the street. And then it kind of cuts off from there, presumably leading into the tunnels that you would recall. But that's going to be a matter of actually going down there and seeing. Because you know that these tunnels will take you down to the second layer. You're on the third, or either you're on the first. It will take you to the second layer, but then you need to get through access points to get any further. It's possible to get to the third layer from these tunnels, but you don't know how, because you were never allowed there.
Okay. And then would I know if I followed this tunnel and accessed the second layer then, would I know if then that second layer, if there is like an opening that comes back up closer to where we want to get.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. I will say no. And the reason why is that you were sorry, there's like a fruit fly in my face. The reason why is you are much more familiar with the 4th district. Every district has these. It was something that they just built for Iris's protection, so that guards and knights could move around. Well, knights not really, because they could fly, but the guardsmen could move around, or they could transport weaponry and everything. It was a way to keep that out of civilian eyes or the prying eyes of spies. You don't necessarily know the layout of this place. You just know that how it works with other layers in the city. If there is an underground, like a parking tunnel or anything, most of the time these go down. You would have to go in to actually investigate. You're welcome to. You're welcome to make a stealth check for it. Or you could wait until Cabal is out and maybe use Predwin with the rest of the group and you can all go down. But I leave the decision up to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would even be the point of that, because okay, so the place where Alsar is being held, is that in the 2nd or 3rd layer?
It's in the spire itself.
Yeah, it's the spire, which is above ground, I'm presuming.
Yes. So
And
keep in mind, when I say tiered, I just realized I'm an idiot.
I'm like trying to figure out if this tunnel
What
just
else
goes
is
to the
new?
2nd layer, why would I even
Oh
do
yeah,
that?
no, what else? No. So I should clarify. I've been going that it goes lower. I flipped that upside down in my brain. This ladder doesn't go down. The ladder goes up. It is the lower level is the third layer. The second level is the next one, and then the first layer is where the spire is. It goes thicker, like low, middle, high, not high, middle, low. I
see.
flipped it. I flipped it in my brain. I apologize.
It's okay. So we're
here-
in the like the middle of the sandwich, basically, is where we ended up with the car.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Currently, you are in the first, you are in the lowest layer. You are the bottom piece of bread. You're
Okay,
not the meat of the
let's
top piece.
pull out MS Paint.
Yeah, here
No,
I'll
I
even
can see that.
I'll even do this just because it's a decent image. Though not correct, obviously for Iris, I'll just put it like in tavern menu. So looking at it, you guys would be in the brown layer of houses.
Mhm.
Then there's the higher tier. The next tier is the blue layer. And then the tier where you need to get to is the castle or the red tier. You guys are currently in the brown tier. To raise up, which
Oh.
it's like a street basically, you need to follow a highway, you'd have to go up. You guys are on the bottom layer. You need to get to the middle, and that's where these tunnels will lead you to. Then there's the top layer. The tunnels also go that way. However, they don't go that way for everybody. You need access.
Yeah. Okay. And when you say you need access, does that mean that there's like within the tunnel checkpoints, or only checkpoints where they come up from each layer?
You'll have to find that out. You don't know.
Okay, so with that message that I sent in the group chat saying, I found this tunnel in so-and-so street and so-and-so tunnel location, blah, 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 I am also going to then send a second message and say, should I begin to follow it to potentially see if this is the tunnel we should take? Or should I wait for you guys so that we could go in with Pridwin? Or wait for you guys and also wait for Bjorf? So we can go in with Pridwin and with him. So I'm going to send that to ask the rest of the group and see what they think.
Well, Cabal
we'll
will
just-
ponder.
Mhm.
Well, during this, Cabal will ponder for a moment, kind of processing the information, and also probably planning out like contingencies before them responding with "not recommended. You go alone. Should go as group."
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I figured. So,
Yeah, the real stealthy boy is currently down in the Undercity with the other two.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So, okay. So then I'm going to ask Should I wait here then, or reconvene back at the van?
Stay where you are, but stay hidden.
Understood. On standby.
And that is
I will
precisely where you will
wait.
go. Now, Eugene and Valen. There's a
Uh-oh.
bit of a problem. It's not every day that someone's arm detaches. Prosthetics are a thing, but that was definitely not a prosthetic. And people bearing witness to someone's arm falling off and then it simply reattaching, there's been some commotion. And with that commotion, you hear most of the people have kind of spread out, but there are some, not sirens, but you see in the distance, Eugene. Actually, not even. I won't even say that. Both Valen and Eugene make a perception check.
Uh-oh. Perception, you say, huh?
Yeah.
Perception.
Please roll decently. Please
Well-
roll decently.
I kind of
Well-
want to, as people are freaking
Oh my
out,
god!
be
Finally.
like, it's
Well,
okay,
then
it's
that-
okay. They have a condition.
Well, not 20, babe.
They have a condition. You know what, Eugene? That's gonna be great. That's a great
That's a
example. That's a 9. God damn it!
I rolled a
Val-
20.
Yeah, you rolled a
9%.
20. You're fine. While Eugene is kind of like working the crowd, like, oh no, it's nothing, don't worry. Valen, you're standing there and you're looking around, and you start to see guard vehicles pull up. Just one guard vehicle pull up along the road as two guards get out, and they kind of look at the crowd and then look at you all, and they start making way towards you.
Eugene is that
Fibromyalgia.
normal?
Fibromyalgia.
Is that normal?
Points towards the guards that are coming towards us.
Yeah, they're just kind of looking at the crowd. I will say they don't look exactly at you, but they're just kind of looking in that direction as they make their way over to the archives.
Oh, yeah, that's very normal, but it's a bit too normal for us, so we're gonna kind of go over here.
Okay.
That's what we're leaving.
Thank
Oh,
you all
great.
for your concern and your attention. I'm gonna go take care of this little one because we know what to do to fix it. Goodbye.
Guess where you go.
As you guys begin to walk off, I just want something from you, Eugene. Make a deception check.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Amalgamation, I presume you're not proficient in deception?
No.
No. Yeah, I've rolled high. Or nor am I
I got an
proficient
18.
in wisdom or.
Did you say an 8 or an 18?
18.
18.
Thank God. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're gonna get arrested. Like, obviously not get arrested.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yes, I know.
Do you think they can contain me?
Yes, actually.
The guards that were making their way over there and were looking for someone, they're talking to one of the passersby who stopped when they saw their arm fall off. But
Not fall off, ripped off. There's a
ripped
difference.
off. Yeah, you ripped it off. That's actually more horrifying. And the guards you overhear them very quickly as you're beginning to walk, and they're like, yes, we heard there was a disturbance of somebody mutilating themselves. So we're here, and your deception roll, thankfully, as you kind of speak to the crowd, give them a quick, no, it's just a condition, we're so sorry, they're still trying to figure it out, all this and that, seems to work. As some of the civilians that are there, like, oh no, they're fine, sorry, they said it was a condition, they're all okay. And you're able to walk away as the crowd begins talking to the guards, all trying to give their say because people are nosy and people want to feel like they did something. You are thankfully out of sight of the guards. Now, my question actually is, where do you guys go? Do you want to head over to Primrose or do you want to stay here?
Eugene?
Bro, Eugene fucking died.
Rip.
We should make sure our robot buddy gets out of the building, right?
Yes, you could
Yeah.
wait for so the thing is you could wait for Cabal or you could go and leave the scene because there are guards that are still curious about what you did.
Could I technically say I didn't deactivate Predwin just yet until I was out of the building?
Well, you'd have to turn it off to interact with the computer.
But I've also learned that there's a route available to us. So now I'm thinking, So now I'm thinking, would I need to still access the computer to get guard info, or would I just meet up with them?
I leave that to you know what? Oh yeah, on my way. I'm going to leave that decision to you. I think that I'd be okay with a little retcon because you found the information, but I would say that it probably happened while you were deactivating it. So
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because when that info came in, I would say that by the time you snuck in with Predwin and everything was going on outside, that's about when Primrose found it, and that's when she got it open, was when you deactivated the camera.
Okay.
So let's say you used up one charge, you still have two. So you can still give it a check for the hacking bit on the computer. Before we get to that, though,
all right.
my mother just got here. I'm going to help her unload some stuff. So take a little break, get the bathroom. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah. To use bathroom. So yes, I'll be right back.
I need to jump over to the downstairs.
Well, that's all happening. I'm actually going to stop the recording. So, we're back.
We did it. We're back.
We have returned. Sans a few people.
There was an incident. There was an explosion in the coal factory.
Yes, it was quite dangerous. Either way. All right, we'll quickly get back right on into it. There we go. One moment. There you go. All right. So, Cabal, you're at the computer. You've disabled the camera, and you are currently logging in. It's a public. It's a public thing. They don't really need anything specifically here because, again, they expect people from all walks of life, not just Irisian citizens, to be here. What are you looking for? I mean, I know what you're looking for, but what is the term that you're searching right now? Or are you hacking?
Honestly, could I attempt to hack even though I don't have proficiency in it?
You can attempt. Again, because you don't have proficiency, it's going to be a little bit harder, but you are a very specific case where you may be able to do that.
And I guess in terms of specifics, I want to hack to see if I can look up security details.
Okay. Now,
especially security details surrounding, like, the upcoming event.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess probably some info on getting into the actual tower virus. Like tunnel routes, if our tunnel route is going to lead there.
Okay.
Or I guess something to like corroborate with what Primrose said before, basically. So anyways, hacking attempt.
Make the hacking attempt. Though I will warn you that this is a public computer, so go for it.
And sure enough, that's a 6.
So you begin the same kind of like jack in spike as you did with the camera, but you're not you're not too keen on it, I'm assuming.
If I could describe the spike any further, it's kind of like it's like a scomp from Star Wars, essentially.
Yeah. The thing
Yeah.
that's kind of how I imagined it as well. You're plugging in and trying to find your way around, but the firewalls or whatever it may be, they're really strong here, and for good reason. This is Irisian public records. The issue of not finding anything becomes more pressing as the computer which you're at, suddenly a red box pops up and says, access denied, improper protocols implanted, improper credentials. An admin will be over shortly.
That Cabal will get up,
Yeah.
and then he's going to leave. He's going to try and hide.
You can make a stealth check. You have broken Pridwin, though, so keep in mind. Now, you're able to use it again if you'd like.
I don't know if I want to risk that, though.
That's true. You only have 2 more uses today.
Yeah.
I will say that you do kind of hear footsteps approaching. So make a stealth check.
Yes. I don't trust my luck so far, though, but here we go. Yeah, no, I got even lower. I got a 5. Cabal is not certain as to where to hide in this library.
Yeah, no. You even then, it's not that you're less certain. It's that unjacking would take a little bit.
Oh
And-
yeah. His finger gets stuck.
Yeah, not even his finger gets stuck. He's like, okay, I gotta get out safely. It's like yanking a flash drive without doing
Yeah.
it safely. You don't want to corrupt your data. So as you're jacking in and you're getting it and it's rotating around, you're, hey, what are you doing? As the 2 guards in the front of the building, look at you, and they're seeing you from behind, mind you. So you have yet to reveal yourself as a robot, but they start approaching you.
There appears to be an issue with your computer.
Yeah, buddy. Sure, whatever you say. Anyways, you're gonna have to come with us as they begin to approach.
Your computer appears to have some sort of error. I've been attempting to ameliorate it.
Well, buddy, that's make a go ahead and make a deception check for me.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see how this is gonna go. What
Did
the
you
fuck?
say-
What the hell?
What did you get?
I got an 18,
Computer
and
has
I'm not
virus.
even proficient.
Your computer has virus.
As the guards approach you and they get up next to you, they're about to arrest you. They've got handcuffs and they're making their way. But then they look at you and go, "Oh, weird. It must be one of those new like IT bots." And he looks over the other one.
I have been sent to ameliorate your issue.
Well, doesn't look like you did a good job of it.
I apologize for my lack of tact in this situation.
We'll just send out another repair droid. Go and get yourself recalibrated, see what's going on. You're dismissed.
Thank you,
Wow.
sir.
And the other guard shakes their head and goes, those clankers, man, they just can't seem to figure it out.
Ball inside of his mind is going to record that bit of conversation secretly.
I will cancel him for this.
Oh my god, it fucking happened! He said the thing!
Way in the background
Oh
punching
man,
punching the
yeah, I was
air.
about to say, and Fue's not even here to see it.
Boy, he's not even here to see Cabal get slurred.
Oh,
Regardless.
man.
Dang.
But with that,
You
can
Cabal
send
will
him
make,
this clip
will make his
later,
way
right?
out of the building.
Yeah, no. Actually, when you're heading, actually, yeah, no, it makes sense that you just walk right out the front door. You make your way through the front door. The alarms go off. Obviously, the metal detector
Why
they're made
didn't
of
it
metal.
go off when he came in the building?
because he had
No,
Pred
I had
because of
Pred
the
went on.
thing.
Yeah, he had used the thing. Yeah, but thankfully you were a-okay, and you march your way out down the stairs, and thankfully we're not arrested. Jesus.
Yeah,
Um,
Cabal very very quickly sends a text to the group chat saying position almost compromised.
Not-
Regrouping with you.
regrouping. Now the question is, where is Valen and Eugene during this? Because I know you left, but did you leave totally, or are you still just waiting?
To think that we kind of went like around the corner of the building by an alley and just kept our eyes on the front door to see when Cabal would leave.
Mhm.
Like out of the scene, but still with our eyes on it. You know what I'm
Makes
saying?
sense. Mhm.
I'm just kind of I'm just next behind Eugene essentially.
Just standing there like my I was told to be scary, so I ripped my arm off. I don't know what I was supposed to do in that situation.
You did a
Please don't
good
be bad.
job. You did a good job. You did a good job. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, this is where I'll shift scene because I assume everybody regroups
Yes.
and they make their way over to where Primrose's location was. Now, around this time, waiting there at Primrose's location, you see you see Bjorf having just arrived on the scene, just about to start conversing with Primrose, but staying out of sight, as these are still access tunnels and they are actively used. So keeping it open is not a good idea. So Primrose and Bjorf are standing off to the side near a building, and you all kind of convene over there, waiting to plot out your next move. Down in the Undercity.
Meanwhile,
We find Marquis alone,
Yes.
all by himself.
All by himself.
Wow.
By myself.
the sound effect that
Yeah,
Bowman used.
Don't wanna be old.
For myself. Except you're not. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm done.
30 nights come around the corner.
Yeah, 30 nights to come around the corner.
Wow. Where's the
Wow.
party?
What's going on, guys? There's only
Down
like
here
100 of
often?
you.
FBI, open up.
There's literally only like 100 knights. It's like, fucking, if 30 of them show up to one location, this is gonna be a problem.
Listen. I said in the first session, I'll say in the last session. Come here often?
Come here often. Well, here, you know who is here right now and is coming there often? There we go. Edme is upstairs. She is throwing a bit of a fit. The question becomes, what do you want to do? Because you, admittedly, the last person left here, you are the best person to talk in this situation.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the issue. The issue is I wanted Tuari to be here, so you'd be like, yeah, no, what he's saying is backing it up. I guess like I better start, going out there and hearing what's happening. I'll find like a ball cap or something just where I've like put it on to obstruct the face and all of that as I head out with everyone to see what the fuck's happening.
Mm-hmm. Tuari will probably wait downstairs with Doku, I assume.
Doku's talking to Grizz.
Doku's talking to Grizz. You make your way up topside, walking around from the back alley where you were underground in the laboratory, and the cowboy bartender follows with you. And once you're out, he slams the lid and he kicks with his big old boot the dumpster back over it. And you make your way around to the front where you can basically hear what's going on the inside. Maybe it's a rallying cry, maybe it's angry, but you hear a woman shouting something along the lines of, "And we need to stand up. Everything is coming together as we thought. One more push, and it's all there. That's all we need. We need a little more. Get off your asses and come and help us."
Sorry, I'm trying to get into roll 20, and for some reason, it's not letting me. It says an unhandled low-level error. Oh, yeah, an unhandled low-level error has occurred, and I cannot get into roll 20.
An unhandled low-level error.
Sounds like a skill issue. TPE.
Excuse me, as I try to load up roll 20 on a separate browser. Yup, you'll let me sign in this way. Why won't you let me sign in the other way? Why won't you let me use Chrome? Why must I use Microsoft Edge?
Crawling in my skin.
But yeah, as this is all happening, I'm trying to remember who was the name of the Grove leader that I was with.
The Grove leader you were with down under?
Yeah, because I assume she also came up.
Yes, she did. I believe her name was Peony?
Annie? That sounds about right.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, Peony is wait, here we go. Oh,
no, I was able to get into roll 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Peony, a cowboy bartender who was never named. I'm gonna call him Jonah Graham. Yeah, Jonah, Peony, and you make your way up top.
Yeah, as this is all happening, I'll sort of lean over to Peony and be like, so, how do you intend on handling this?
Well, the same way I always handle it. I'm going to step in there, tell Edme to cool her jets. When she inevitably gets even more angry, she'll storm out and leave herself.
Well, if things like it's not going that well for you, I'll jump in.
Well, she comes back every 2 weeks, so no, not really.
You never know. Might have a fervor, and that's what's stopping her from going for it this time.
Well, that's something I'd rather not think about. Are you going to go in, or am I going to have to? Because I will happily talk to her and kick her out again, but it has to be a reason you've come up.
Who knows? I might be able to call her out on her shit.
Well, good luck. Braver men have tried.
And in I go.
Making your way on in, you see the scene. There are no weapons drawn, but it is tense. A tension that I can almost compare to the tension you all felt while you were hiding in a bunker, trying to hide away from your raging sister, between her and your, well, it's complicated relationship partner. Everyone's staring. The bar itself has been split in a sense that Edme, along with 3 others, are backing her, while all the others are sitting at tables, or the bar goers rather are sitting at tables, or they've made their way to the bar itself because they don't want to be seen on the same side with her. And as you walk in, the eyes drift to you, and Edme snaps her head, expecting it to be Peony. It's not. And
So I
there's
have
a moment.
question. This thing that you're saying is so close. Is it what they're actually all here for, or is it just for your petty revenge that you're hiding behind?
Would you like to? No, I don't really think there's any roles here. Shit, you just talked shit. Edme turns around.
Get hit. I'm not.
Yeah, you're.
Have fun.
Yeah, Edme turns around with a glare of ire clear across her face. Her white eyes, only paired with her pale white skin being a changeling, and her white hair to match.
Yeah,
This
I'm prepping
woman
a Misty
is.
Step, by the way, if she comes at me.
Yeah, she's gonna turn, narrow her eyes, glare at you, and then there's a look of realization. You.
I'm sorry, I
Are
don't
you-
believe we've ever met before.
She shakes her head and she begins to stamp up to you. You were one of Ausar's lapdogs.
At least it's better than being married to him. Oh, sorry. Sore subject.
Oh my god, Ian, why are you doing this?
Because if I make her slip up in Angie, then it might be like showing the true colors of why she's been doing all of this.
That is a good point. You're stressing me out.
Why do you think I said I have a Misty set prepared?
That is fair. That is fair. She kind of looks and almost like sneers for a second. I married a different man. He's not the same. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't intend to really care. But if Ausar sent you, I don't know how, but if he sent you,
For some reason, I feel like a lot of your motivations are still tied to him. Let's see here. Tricking everyone here in Grove, believing it's some sort of a greater cause, trying to get revenge for your dead daughter, and again, using Grove for a greater cause, believing I was sent here by Ausar. A lot of things seem tied to him. Have you tried therapy recently? I hear it does wonders.
you don't even know the man that I know. Ausar is so much different than when I met him. He's not the same, and you will do well to keep my daughter's name and my daughter's presence out of your mouth.
Oh, so is that why you used your daughter's form when you burnt down a district?
She kind of goes silent at that. My daughter is not dead. My daughter was going to be the face of what it took to knock some sense into that man before he fell too far, and he has.
And so now you're using her as the face of your petty revenge.
She is the face of a revolution that will stop him.
Don't you believe? So you're going after to stop him, not the city, not the thing that Grove is purpose for? That's what I'm hearing. And again, you've come back here in an effort to use these people for your own petty reasons.
There's some murmurs in the crowd, but at the back, the bar goers, as you say this. She shakes her head. It's not petty revenge.
But it's still revenge.
It's stopping a monster.
I turn to everyone at this point. You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Her first intentions, her first goal isn't to stop the city, isn't help for the betterment of anything. It's to stop a monster.
Ausar is that city.
Ausar is a symptom of that city. And it seems like you're too blinded to remember that.
No, it is everyone else who is blind. And you can see that there's some anger boiling as she's gritting her teeth looking at you because she's so pissed by how you've been treating this.
I know. I understand that I am dead.
Oh, Ausar has lost himself. He's not the man that I met. He's not the man that fights for that city, and he's going to do something, and I don't know what. But we can't let him do it. We need to stop him because Ausar is that city. He is.
Peony! I turned to her in sort of like a small pirouette. Tell me, what would happen at the loss of Ausar and all the other Pillar Knights? Oh, right, they'd still be there, wouldn't they? The city would still be standing. It wouldn't do any real change. At least from what I understand it. Perhaps a third party might be able to help shed eyes on this all.
Peony kind of sits there waiting. she's been waiting kind of outside, but more so at the door frame.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's at the door frame. And you see Jonah with his hand kind of resting on his gun on his hip. He's not making a move for it yet, but he's just waiting just in case something happens, and Peony kind of strides in. She shakes her head. We did everything we could to keep Rhea stable, and I understand that you want your daughter back. But we aren't going to be able to maintain her body for much longer, Edme, and you're losing yourself. The cause is to bring peace. The city is a stepping stone, but you're losing yourself. Ever since you had those dreams, you believe that Ausar is the centerpiece, but I don't know where it's coming from.
What
And-
Peony said is a strong touch of it all. This is supposed to be a cause for peace. And yet, where is that peace? All I've seen is fire and destruction and burning around. You are
And
not
it's-
some savior. You will be the end of everything.
If I can bring down Ausar before he gets to do what he's been planning, and I don't know what it is, I just know he's at the center. You can hear her start just like getting, she's swelling up.
I know she's getting
Almost.
there. She's getting there.
Yeah.
Just one hard push.
I can save my daughter. I can get her back. I can stop him.
The cause of this isn't to save your daughter, but it seems like you're distracted by that. The cause of this is saving the city. It's doing what's the best for everything.
You don't know what the best is.
Ooh, that small pause here. Ooh, do I do something? Do I do something? Oh man,
Yes,
the
yes,
angel on my
yes, yes,
shoulder
yes.
quest isn't here.
Quest isn't here to
The
stop
devil,
you.
the devil on your shoulder, known as Jules, says yes. Go for it.
I'm gonna take off my ball cap and my makeup's off.
Oh,
I think I do know what's best for this city. And it's why I've been trying to do better for it. At this point, I would probably start standing onto one of the bar tables.
Oh my god.
Probably not one of the bar tables. At this point, I assume there's like a small circle around us.
I'm kind
Oh
of
no, he's
looking at
getting on his soap. He's getting on his soapbox. Oh no!
Yeah, I'm getting on my soapbox,
He's
baby.
getting on the proverbial soapbox.
I've been trying to do what's best for this city. Ever since I was born. Ever since I've done it. I've seen what has occurred down here, I've seen what has occurred down there, and I have done everything that I could, not with fire or destruction, but with words, by trying to fight against a system that is unjustified. You may say that you are a savior, you may say you are doing everything that you can for this city, but you are not. I know, because I am fighting for it. Not you. I, Trelio Lior.
I'd like to mention that this is a very good speech, but seeing you as a balloon with a troll face.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was sitting here, I'm like,
I,
The best
Trelio
part of it all-
Lior, next rightful heir of the Lior household. I am the
The
one
best
who have
part
been
of it-
trying to do my best. Not some
Well-
crazy ex with a vendetta.
Before I say what happens next, Ditto, what did you say?
I was just like, the best part would be if the changeling went, well, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, like-
I don't know these names. That means nothing to me.
exactly.
She fails her history check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she fails her history check. Who? What?
Damn, bitch.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
hold
yeah,
on,
yeah,
real quick.
like,
I Google
am I
myself. I
supposed to
gaggle
know
myself.
you?
See, right there.
I gaggle myself. Oh, kill him. No. Yeah, no. There's a moment of silence as you kind of do that, and Peony kind of takes a little step away from you. Not because she's like gross, but like she's like, this is not gonna go well.
Yeah, it's not. That's why I got that Misty step ready. If she comes at me, I'm Misty stepping out, bitch.
She shakes her head. She's gritting her teeth, and her hands at this point are trembling as she looks at you and goes, "You just don't get it. No one gets it. There's something more. I'm trying to save this city."
You're trying to cause its destruction.
I'm trying to stop it.
How?
He's at the center. I don't know how. I see it.
I turn to the rest of the bar patrons and the Grove members and all of that. Tell me, what has she done that has actually proven cause? Proven change for the better? I've seen destruction, I have seen the heartache that it has caused to the people, and it is not any better than when I first left. It is not better from when I tried making a change. And the way that she is going about things is only going to hurt everyone in the long run.
There is a deafening silence.
Yeah.
She's gonna just look down with gritted teeth and shake her head.
I think it would be best if you left. It would probably be better if you never came back.
Make a persuasion check.
Akami! 24, baby!
Thank God. Thank God. You don't get Eldritch Blast out the front fucking door. Or Thunder Wave.
Smited.
She looks up at you, and with tears welling in her eyes and an anger, in her hands, and you can see it, she opens her palm as magic begins to channel, just glow for a moment, but then Peony steps forward and grabs her by the wrist and shakes her head, and she yanks her arm free, and she looks up at you and goes, "You don't understand. And when you do, it's gonna be too late. I've seen it. My daughter showed it to me, I know. And when this whole city comes crashing down and the whole world is on fire, you'll know that I was right." And she turns on her heels and bumps her shoulder into you as her and her two followers turn to leave. You made it out of there without getting lit on fire.
So anyways, can I get a shot of anything, like, probably your hardest at this point, as I go and sit down at the bar?
Holy shit.
Yeah, Jonah kind of puts a hand on your shoulder before you go and goes, "My friend, you can have a whole bottle for that."
Woof. Looks like it wasn't pointless then.
Yeah, no.
Oh, dog.
You should really not leave me alone.
Yeah, that was a situation where where you hear Professor Genevieve's words in your ears. Now's not the time for. There's a time and a place for everything, but not now. Fucking hell.
Genevieve reaches out through the force.
The worst part is, if fucking Tuare was here, I wouldn't have had to pull the Trelio card.
Yeah, that's true. If Tuare was there, should have been like, "Sweet Tuare, you need to listen to me." But it didn't happen.
Nope. I had to pull the Trelio card.
Oh my god. Well,
yeah, I'm gonna put on my ball cap again before. Granted, we're not connected to the Iris network right now, so
Yeah,
good luck
you're pretty.
sharing
pretty
this
alright.
photograph online.
Yeah. Well, they still have Iristagram down here, but nobody took a picture.
Yep.
Because all of them, for the most part, are wanted terrorists.
Exactly.
You don't really have an Iristagram going.
Oof.
Not even a private account.
No, they probably have like a private account. but you know,
I was about to say one. At least one of them could be like the one criminal who's like, "Hey, my mugshot looks bad. Can you retake it?"
Yo, can you try that again, bro? I got to put this up on my Iristagram. No, but, as Edme leaves with her two companions, you feel the tension fade, and as the door hangs open and her angelic wings unfurl from her back, and she takes to the sky with the other two, everyone kind of breathes a sigh of relief. And as the tension fades, things kind of go back to normal. Peony sits next to you, and Jonah just grabs like a bottle of whiskey and just plops it on the table and goes, "Good. If she stays away, I'll give you another one." I can't say I'll give them all you though, because I ain't made of money, brother.
I get that. I pour me, Jonah, and Peony a shot.
Peony will down it before it is literally a half second before you finish. She's just, oh, I feel bad for that woman.
I feel a lot better for the future. Hopefully, with her gone.
Well, I doubt she'll be gone forever. If anything, she's going to do something more drastic. I don't know where she's gone. I don't know where she's taken her daughter's body or any of her followers, but she's dead set on making sure that this execution goes through, and well,
at
it's
the very
something.
least, at the very least, she won't have any more help from the people down here.
That almost worries me. At least with the help she got from here. She'll kind of shake her head, and then Jonah will pop in. Yeah, with the help she got from here. Well, at least we knew where they were going, where they were coming from, but now, well, I can't say that I know where it's gonna be. She might end up going somewhere a little more crazy. That damn woman is so motivated she'd open the damn abyss if she could.
I have a couple of friends up top trying to help stop the execution, so I guess we'll deal with that when it comes.
Well, I can't say that I like shaking hands with a city fella as much as I do, but, well, you seem all right.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, that's a noble name. Now, if I would have known you was nobility when you walked on in these doors into my fine establishment, I would have put 6 through you before you would have even realized, but...
Yeah, what do you think there's a reason I normally keep that under the hat?
And he'll tip his own hat to you and go, fair enough, my friend. We all got our secrets here.
Yeah. It's a long story.
Well, I ain't gonna ask you, but if you want to share, well, this is a place to do it. It's
We'll
also
get
a place
about
to
a half
grab.
bottle in, then we'll see where the night takes us.
Well, I suppose that's fair. But a word of advice, my friend. You just made a very dangerous enemy.
Oh, please. I put her on the list with my sister.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lior is more of a noble name. Oh, you're related to that one.
Yeah.
I heard stories of her melting people.
Yep.
So,
Well,
Take a shot. Yep.
you know, buddy, that checks out. And I think I will end that there. I think that's a good place to hold session with
Yes.
Trellio not getting nuked
And also Cabal not getting arrested.
Cabal didn't get arrested. Trelio didn't get nuked. You think you have a way to go. Oh my god. And it's still early in the last day.
Oh.
It's probably about 2 p.m. So by the time you all can reconvene, you'll have the night to figure out how you're going to do
so
this.
Guys, I have good news and bad news. What do you want to hear first?
Oh my god, you have the recording, but you didn't have our audio, do you?
Who?
You. Is that the good news and bad news?
No. I was talking. I was talking about like
in character, in game.
You were in character. It processed in my head the moment that I said. I was like,
no. We all meet back up and just like. So I have good news and I have bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? Let's give us the good news. Okay, good news. She's no longer getting help from Grove. All right. Bad news. Bad news. She might be getting help from the Abyss now.
We don't know where she's going.
Also, Grove knows who I am now.
I proclaimed my name while Tuare was downstairs.
We got drunk. I think we're friends now.
My name is Kyobu Masataka Oniwa. As I breathe,
you see, me and the higher
kill Aosa King.
You see, me and the higher ups of Grove, so we're bonded over a bottle of whiskey. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll let you choose.
I'll let you decide. Now we have friends down under.
I would say it depends on your purview.
You know, that's fair.
Well, Yin, thank you for recording. If you want, you can post this in the
First and foremost, goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Oh, yeah.
Aye.